You thought it was getting personal. Now it's about to get real personal. What's up guys, it's me. You know who I am, let's not even start with that. Today we're talking about sex. A lot of you say that you guys watch my videos or like me because I'm very relatable, or you like me because I'm like an older sister or a long lost friend or something like that. So I thought, what way to get even more personal with you guys and do content that I think is meaningful by talking to you about something that nobody really talks about here on YouTube, especially in the beauty or fashion community. So this is a topic that I feel very strongly about. I feel like this specifically is targeted more towards young women, just because virginity loss is a very heteronormative social concept, but we'll get into that later. I'm going to share with you first a few tips on how to make this experience pretty much your best, and this is going to be coming from personal experience, so we're getting real personal as well. Let's get into it. So the top 3 C's I really want you to keep in mind when you're about to have sex for the first time, and even just anytime you have sex after, are the 3 C's, that is consent, comfort, and contraceptives. So what that basically means is make sure sex is consensual, that both parties are mutually agreeing to this. And number 2, comfort. I think this is such a big thing because if you are not comfortable with the person, your partner, and most importantly, if you are not comfortable with yourself, it is not going to be a great experience. And I think for me personally, how I knew I was ready was I had to be 100% comfortable in my own body and really be comfortable with the person and just being comfortable in your own skin. And number 3 is contraceptives. Please, please, please use contraceptives. There's so many STDs, STIs, unplanned pregnancies. These are just things you all want to prevent. Contraceptives wise, condoms are a really easy and accessible way to start, but they are not one of the highest forms of contraceptives, so I actually think it would be smart to pair another contraceptive with the condom. There are so many different contraceptives out there. You can get the diaphragm. I have the Nexplanon implant, and when I say this to people, they're always so freaked out, but basically it is just this really small, you know those pieces of lead that you would use for lead pencils, like 0.5 lead, and it's like this big. Basically that's shot up your arm, and it's good for 4 years. Your skin doesn't change, you don't go through any weight gain, no mood swings, but the only thing that it does give you irregular menstrual cycles. So for most women it disappears. You basically don't have your period, and from what I was told, I think it is the highest form of contraceptive that's out there. For me, I didn't lose my period. I just get it every almost 42 days. I tried the pill for a week and I missed it almost every other day. So that was when I knew I had to do this, because it is so low maintenance and it's very great for someone who I feel like wants a very low maintenance lifestyle when it comes to contraceptives. Please stay safe and make it consensual and be comfortable with your body. I think that's the most important thing, is that you feel secure in your own body and your own skin, and that you are not freaking out about the way your armpit smells or that weird mole on your body. And something that really helped me out, it was a story my mom told me. She had a roommate in college who was a ballerina, and you know, ballerinas are very thin. They're very physically thin because they have to be. And my mom was asking her like, oh, does it bother your boyfriend that my mom's a very blunt and straightforward person, and she's not trying to be malicious or anything, but she was just like, oh, like does it bother your boyfriend that, you know, you're so skinny and that you're like really flat? And you know, her roommate just told her basically, no, if he didn't think I was attractive, then we wouldn't be having sex. We wouldn't be able to have sex if he wasn't attracted to me. It's so true. Like, if you're worried about that weird mole on your left boob, trust me, that person that you are having sex with for the first time, they are attracted to you. Otherwise, they would not be there with you trying to do it. I think that's super liberating and something that really resonated with me when I was younger, because I was very insecure about my body, or I was just thinking about like, oh, like does he think this is weird? Like, oh, my left thumb is kind of like wonky. And it's just like, no, if they were not attracted to you, they literally would not be able to get an erection or be able to get wet. So have no fear, they are attracted to you, and don't be so much inside your head. A question that I was always thinking about when I had sex for the first time was, is it gonna hurt? And this honestly varies from person to person. It's just, It has to do with so many different factors, but ways that you can make this experience even better is 100% relax and take a deep breath. Don't forget to breathe. A lot of the times that it hurts for the first time is because you are so tensed up and constricted in your body, and you know, when you're constricted like this, like your vagina is constricted as well, and it's just harder for something to be inserted in there smoothly. So just relax. Another thing, lube. Use lube. If you're having sex for the first time, and it should be pretty much known to all parties that it is your or another person's first time, you want to make it as comfortable as possible. Like I said, number 2, get lube. Just use lube, and that will help a lot because it takes a lot more for a woman to get heated up down there than a guy. And so I would really recommend a lot of foreplay. So whether that's making out or just touching down there first and using his or your hands or her hands, whoever it is, hands down there, fingers down there first, just so you can kind of gauge your tolerance for what's going to go in there, because you don't want to go from absolutely no penetration to full-on penetration. And I think the reason why comfort, number 2, is such a big thing is because if you are not comfortable with your own body and you don't know what you like, how are you supposed to tell and communicate to another person what you like to them if you don't even know? So I would actually say, before you even have sex for the first time, definitely explore yourself, you know, masturbate. I think it's a very healthy, normal thing, and it gets you to understand what your body likes and what your body doesn't like, more importantly as well. If you're uncomfortable with even just, you know, touching your own self, like how can you be comfortable with some other stranger or person touching you? You know, you just want to be as comfortable as possible. You want to feel at home, you want to feel at ease. Start with yourself. Like, be very comfortable and figure out what you like, what you don't like, so that when it comes time for the big finale, I guess, I don't know, you know what you like. I don't think it has to necessarily be someone that you absolutely are in love with, or even that you have to be in a relationship with. If you yourself are ready, I would recommend doing it with someone who just respects you and who can respect your feelings. And also, if you want to save yourself for marriage, and if you want to do it with someone you're totally in love with, I totally respect that as well. But just don't think too much about the concept of virginity loss, or just virginity in general, because virginity is a social construct. It is not real. It's a concept that actually is defined and changed over time by different societal values. Originally, it is based on puritanical sexual values, and you know, if you're not religious, you don't need to abide by that. It's just problematic because it is very sexist. It's the idea of just losing something just because you did something is a strange thing, unless it's like maybe robbing somebody. But it's almost equated to that, you know, virginity. It's almost as if you're robbing somebody, like you're taking something away from me. But in reality, virginity or having sex for the first time, you're gaining something. You're gaining a new experience. You don't say when you ride your bike for the first time, you know, oh, I lost my biking virginity. No, it's like I learned how to, you know, ride a bike. And I feel like that idea would benefit and enhance so many young girls' view on sex. The reason why virginity loss is such a problematic concept for young women is because it is based on women's value inversely proportional to their sexual interaction. The more sex that you have, the less value you have as a woman, and that is so terrible. It is completely a double standard, because men should be seen as having tons of sex or being rewarded for having a lot of sex. It also perpetuates this idea that women are fragile and that we're deflowered, and it goes the other way as well, because men are seen as less masculine or having less machismo for not having sex at a certain age, or for not having this many partners. That's something that I feel like need to just abolish in this day and age. So something I want to talk about is self-love and acceptance, and this has to do with a lot of like pubic hair and the way you look. If ever you have a partner that tells you that you have too much pubic hair, or that, you know, that mole on your left boob is weird, you need to remind them that this is not their house. It is your body and they are simply a guest, and to tell them not to overstay their welcome. Especially because we live in such a patriarchal society, we think that women should be totally cleanly shaven without any hair, but that's not realistic, you know? If you want to have a full bush when you have sex for the first time, that's what makes you comfortable, do it. And if someone is not comfortable with that, then it is not consensual at that point, because he doesn't want to have sex with you or she doesn't want to have sex with you because of that. It is a natural part of you, and do what makes you feel good. If you think having no body hair is awesome, then do that because you feel clean or whatever. But don't ever think that it has to be because of your partner, because if it's the right partner, they should not care about all of that stuff. Please pee after you have sex, because you can get a UTI, which is a urinary tract infection. It's super painful. I've never had one personally because I do always remember to pee. So remember to pee after you have sex. The last thing I want to talk about is age and all of that stuff. That's also socially constructed. You don't need to have your first kiss by 18. You don't need to have your first kiss by 13, whatever it is. I had my first kiss at 19, and that is literally just because I never had a boyfriend and I barely even dated in high school, and that was a personal choice. I was not very physically attracted or even emotionally attracted to anyone that I thought was worth kissing, and at 19 I felt like, oh, I actually want to kiss somebody, so I did it, and it just happened just like that. And don't put too much emphasis or desire or value on, you know, these sexual interactions, because at the end of the day, if you want to do it, you can go out and do it, and if you want to save it, you can also save it. So I always just try to tell people, don't put too much pressure on yourself, because it's honestly, it's all socially constructed. It's just a simple act, it's a simple verb, it's a simple action is what I'm trying to say. And when I was 19 and I had my first kiss, it was honestly nothing special. Oh, that was it? I could have waited even longer. It would probably been more special if it was with someone I like truly really liked, but also at the same time, like, I just didn't care to wait. So see, all of that is personal. And you know, being a virgin, I lost my virginity at 20. There are so many great women in this world, like Tina Fey, who lost their virginity at 24, I think. It's not really a big deal. Even if you're like 30, 35, just whatever feels right to you, you should do that. And don't ever live by society standards, because in the end, it's all about making you happy, and do what makes you happy. Trust me, you will just know when you are ready. And if you're still unsure, that pretty much means that you're just not ready yet. Hope this was somehow helpful to you, and thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you like this by liking the video, and click subscribe, because I love for you to join the Vagabond family, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Set an alarm for 8 o'clock in the morning.
I've set an alarm for 8 o'clock.
Sweet. Good morning. So it's 9 a.m. on a Saturday. I am getting ready to drive to my parents' house because they have Chloe. I was on set all day yesterday, so they watched her for me. I'm gonna go pick her up, have some breakfast with my family.